Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for May 12th, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, we call our next case.
On page 2, top of page 2, Judge, in cause number 2018-0D03091 and 2022-0D00167, State of Texas versus Gerardo Escobedo Campa. Announcement of counsel, please.
Boa King for the State of Texas. Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
And Daniel Avalar for Gerardo Campa. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Okay, so he does, yes, there it is. I was going to say he has a probation case, and then we've got our new.
Yeah, Judge,
right.
we conferenced, I'm sorry, yeah, we conferenced it before the court came on. And it's one of those cases where there's an expiration. We were up on a deadline and things like that. Nothing really came of it.
So expiration meaning his probation expires, and then we had the new DWI. Is this the one where, Danny, you were waiting on the video, and then I think you finally got the video?
Yes.
So have you all come up with a number?
Well, now that we know, so we also conferenced it with Carla Pineda, and I think Ms. King and I have agreed that we're just going to treat this independently. As far as a number, are you going to revisit that, Ms. King, or?
Let me go. I haven't looked at the probation summaries, Carla. What is probation recommending on Mr. Campa?
Your Honor, good morning. At this point, due to the probation case expired and it's past the 1-year anniversary since the original expiration date.
Oh, you already expired.
We can no longer extend the probation matter. We would have to, it would either have to be a MTAG dismissal or revocation.
Okay. So, but we can still leave it pending, right? Our trial is not so far down the road, right? We can still leave it pending until we know what's going on with our DWI.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because isn't he someone, again, I'm not wanting to click on anything because I don't want to mess up my computer. Isn't he one that was this the one that right when COVID hit, it went to Judge Garcia on a bond and that's how he got out, and then we kind of lost track of him? Is he that individual? I bet Marissa would know if she's listening. I guess what I'm really asking, Carla, is was he less than compliant over his probation?
Your Honor, he had stopped reporting for quite some time.
Right.
And not only that, but we had already, I'm going to go back to 2019. We had already gone through another motion that had been filed due to absconding. It was dismissed. He got extended at that time. We allowed, we gave him the opportunity to continue again on probation, and then he stopped reporting again. And that's when this new MTAC came in effect. Right.
Yeah. See, I'm not real sure that I just want to let him off the hook on the probation case, Mr. Avalar. So what are you all looking at on the DWI third? I saw you filed your motion to suppress all of that business. Do we need a hearing on that?
Please, Judge.
Okay, so submit your motion via email to Ms. Hernandez with your request for hearing. We'll have to get it. You want it in person, Danny?
Yes.
I would imagine. Okay.
Yes.
So put in your request for an in-person hearing because we got to get you scheduled between now and I know July is going to be really, really tricky. So we need to get it scheduled before July. And our trial is July 29th. Is it a true third, Ms. King? I believe it is, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
It is.
So Myrna, I'm not sure, I'm not looking at the probation case. For scheduling purposes on the probation case, we just need to set it for a probation status every time the new case, and it looks like it is, yeah, it's set for a probation status every time the new case comes up. Okay. And we're gonna carry it with the DWI. Yeah, I'm not at, if we need to go to revocation, we'll go to revocation. Okay, so if you have a compelling argument for something else, Mr. Avalar, I'll hear it on another day, but I hear what you're saying today, and I don't think we're on the same page. So in any event, get your suppression scheduled. All righty.
Yes, ma'am.
What else do you have, Mr. Avila?
Judge, I have a Carlos y Fuentes.
Page 4, Judge, top of page 4.
Okay, do we have, I don't know, has the arraignment been taken care of? This is probably one, Myrna, that we need to start setting on the jail slots.
Yes, ma'am.
Fuentes. Has there been a bond reduction request, Mr. Avila?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm not sure. When did you file that?
Let me check, Judge. Yeah, it was before the jail magistrate, Your Honor, and
Oh, you had a bond hearing in front of JMAC? Yeah, that was back in February. Okay. I don't see a new one, so if you need to come back on the bond, let me know. But Myrna, on these, it looks like we have our arraignment today, and then we don't have a judges conference until August. So, that's right.
I'll set it up. I'll file a renewed motion.
Okay, and then when you do that, then we'll set it at the jail slot and go from there. Do you know what his bond is?
I believe it's 250,000.
50,000.
Your Honor, I don't.
It's 2 million. Yep. Okay. Yeah. All right. So if you're going to request a bond reduction, please send your request with your filed motion. Okay.
He can't make that bond, Your Honor?
I don't know. You tell me. You tell me, mister. All right. Thank you very much.
Mr.
Thank
you.
Manuel also
For
has
your-
the Ayala arraignment.
Yeah, that one should be quick, Your Honor.
Which one is that?
Ayala.
Oh, okay. Arraignment and hearing. Okay.
And he's in the waiting room, Your Honor.
Okay, let's bring him in.
There he is.
There it is. Aaron Ayala. Mr. Ayala? Okay, yeah, Mr. Ayala's there. All right, go ahead and call it.
In cause number 2022-01096, State of Texas versus Aaron Ayala. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Daniel Avalar for Aaron Ayala.
And Mr. Ayala is appearing remotely. Thank you, Mr. Ayala. We are scheduled today for an arraignment and a review hearing. Give me 1 second. Let me look at the calendar.
That's right, Judge. And I believe we submitted the waiver some time ago.
Do you have that, Myrna? PR, there it is.
I'm checking.
Sure.
We don't have it all. I'll take it to you.
Okay, in terms of the bond, it is at $20,000 split 10,000 cash surety, 10,000 PR. Let me look at the conditions.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
0 priors, Your Honor.
I wonder why it was so high.
Your Honor, I believe his BAC was 0.15 and 0.16.
That's correct.
Okay,
The waiver is available, Judge.
available, like they've turned it in or?
Yes, it's submitted and it's filed.
Okay, beautiful. Let me double check and see if I have anything from PR Bond.
Of course, Judge.
Mr. Ayala, do you have your monitor, the alcohol monitor?
Yes, ma'am. It is in my vehicle.
Okay, all right. 2 things here, just so you know, Mr. Ayala, this is just a standard review that the court does on some of the DWI cases. And so, you know, when you come over from JMAG, you have certain bond conditions. I review those depending, just to to double check. There's conditions that the court kind of differs a little bit from GMAG. But considering that this is a DWI child, that's correct, Ms. King, right? No prior DWIs?
That is correct.
Okay. And I know with the monitors, there's a lot of problems right now with the providers being out of monitor. So I'm basically not going to change anything, because if we try and change a monitor on you, it might cause so much confusion and headache that it's just not worth it. I will be requesting PR reports on the monitor compliance, but just make sure you comply, stay in touch with PR. And I'm sure your attorney has told you that for this court, you also have to check in here every Monday that you have a court hearing. Okay, so any week that you have a court hearing, you check in via Zoom, just like you did today between 9 and 12 on Monday. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
understood. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ayala. You're free to go. Thank you, Mr. Avila. Is that your last one?
I think that's it, Judge.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right,
You're
thanks.
excused.
Y'all be safe. Thanks.
All right. Who's next?
Well, we're back on page 2, bottom of page 2, Judge,
Mhm.
with Flores.
Okay,
Let me bring him in, Judge.
Mark Flores. Mhm. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Flores, if you'll just mute for a second. Oh, there's
Okay.
Mr. Mesa. No, we're good to go. I hadn't. seen-
Okay. Well, you got me by surprise.
Yeah, I'm here, Judge. Good
All
morning.
right, let's get started. Good morning.
In cause number 2019-0D0-5383 and 2019-0D0533, the state of Texas versus Mark Flores. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
Eric Meza for the defense judge, and we're ready to proceed.
Good morning, and Mr. Flores is also appearing remotely. We're scheduled today for a status conference, it looks like, but we also have a motion to withdraw. Mr. Mesa, well, first let me ask, Mr. Flores, had you reviewed or you're aware of the motion to withdraw filed by Mr. Mesa?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Mesa, go ahead. It was filed a while ago, so.
Yeah, that was it, Judge, and we have had the opportunity to speak to our client. It's based on, contractual obligations.
Sure.
You've read that, and we've spoken to Mr. Flores. I do think he qualifies for a court-appointed attorney, Judge, based on what's kind of transpired with the pandemic and the aftermath. His financial situation has changed. He has indicated to us that he is willing to apply for a court-appointed attorney because he has limited to no funds. And so, obviously we'll defer to the court on that.
Okay, Mr. Flores, have we ever had you interviewed before? No? Okay, so I'm gonna ask for now if you'll just stay logged in. I'm gonna see, I don't know who we call anymore. We always called Tom Lara. So Myrna or Mr. Marufo, if you all could contact someone to come in and do an interview. It's solely for them to do a financial assessment to see if you qualify. Okay, it's nothing substantive about your case. So if you'll just mute and hang on, we'll probably surprise you again, but we need to get someone here who can actually do the interview. Okay.
Okay.
With that said, you're okay with you all are on the same page with respect to the withdrawal, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then the motion to withdraw is granted, Mr. Mesa. So let me just see if I can get somebody. So Mr. Flores, in terms of scheduling, we have a jury trial coming up in July. I'll definitely look at that once you get a new attorney, if they're obviously going to probably need more time, but we'll go from there. So if we can get someone here, please, to do the financial assessment on Mr. Flores. Thank you, Mr. Mesa.
I'll call them, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, who's next?
Staying with the CLM, Judge, on page 11, bottom of page 11.
Okay,
Because number 2021-0D0-2442, state of Texas versus Luis Valdez. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
Eric Meza for the defense judge, and we're ready to proceed.
okay, is Mr. Valdez here by any chance?
Yes, ma'am, I'm bringing him in.
Okay, so there's an amended motion for continuance. Let's see. Oh, okay. So everybody wants to go to Rusty Duncan, huh? That's what's going on.
Been a while since we got the CLEs in, Judge.
Mr. Valdez, can you hear me? Yes, okay, perfect. All right, so we are scheduled today for a motion for continuance. Mr. Mesa, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Our motion for continuance is based on the fact that our firm is traveling for CLE in San Antonio. We will be out of town on the date of this trial. I believe you guys also discussed this earlier, and so I think I know where the court stands, but that's where we stand on this one.
Okay, when was this one set? Let me see, order of court setting, is that just for the motion for continuance?
Your Honor, it's set for a June 17 jury trial.
Uh-huh. I see an order of court sending on April 19th. I'm trying to see if there was another. What's the state's position?
The state is not opposed.
Let me just look at some of these orders of courts. Okay, so it was originally supposed to be set, supposed to go to trial in April. And then I guess in April, the trial was moved. Let me see. As of November. Okay, so in anticipation of the April trial, we moved it to June. Okay, so I don't see any previous motions for continuance. Am I right on that, Mr. Mesa? You all have never filed one?
That's correct. I don't.
Okay, so if it's not opposed, then I'm going to grant the motion for continuance, resetting the June trial. Let me ask this though, where are we in terms, is this case ready? Is it going to trial? And if so, is it ready to go to trial, or do we have anything outstanding?
I believe this is a trial case, Judge. We are ready, with the exception of, the availability.
Okay, so I'm going to ask, when are you available for trial? Because we can get you set pretty quick.
I mean, as far as I know, that's the only weekend that all of us will be out of town. So.
Okay, Myrna, can you look at the August trial settings, please? And Ms. King, if you have any concerns, witness availability, things like that, let me know. But can we look at August, please? And give me a good trial date, one that we know we can set them.
Judge, August 5th is a good one.
Okay, oh, I like the sound of that. August 5th. Anybody have any conflict with August 5th?
Not with this date, Your Honor.
I'm looking real quick, Judge, but I don't believe we do.
Take your time. I want to make sure we get a good, I want to make sure we get a good date.
Okay. No, Judge, August 5th looks good. We're set for trial on the 8th on a couple in the 171st and the 168th, but I really don't think those are going to go, Judge.
Okay, so we'll do August 5th. I need to ask though, how many panels do you think you'll need? If we're talking panel, well, how big of a panel do you need? And then I'll try and figure out from there what we do.
I guess we'll defer to the court on that one, Judge. I just kind of would like to do it if we could bring a big panel in and just do it once, but.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let me see. I don't know what this means. Mr. Marufo, can you look at the master calendar? I'm looking at August 5th. And the only thing I see is it says the 243rd-1. So it doesn't indicate there whether it's commissioner's court or if it's in their courtroom. Okay. Whatever commissioner's court will accommodate, I'm gonna put that request as kind of first option. If not, we'll do 2 panels in the courtroom, 2 panels of 60. I'm not really sure what that means on that court master calendar right now, but that'll be the request. Okay, Mr. Marufo?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Let me see. So August 5th, we need it at least 120 in the courtroom or whatever commissioners will accommodate. All righty. Was that cover everything? Do you need hearings on anything else, Mr. Mesa, on this case?
No, Judge, I think we're good to go.
Okay, so with that, Myrna, let's go ahead and cancel the June 14th and 17th settings. I do want to add a July 28th, 10 a.m. setting.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's too close to the trial date. I'm sorry. July 21st. I'm just going to check in with you guys.
Okay.
Final judges. Okay.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Valdez.
May I be excused?
You sure may.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Who's next?
We're back on page 3, Judge.
Okay,
Page
go ahead.
3. Because number 2022 0D00112, State of Texas versus Jonathan David Gonzalez, announcement of counsel. Let me bring Gonzalez in, Judge.
Working for the state of Texas.
Okay, is that Mr. Ortiz? Mr. Ortiz, did you just sub in February? Is that what's going on here?
Judge, how are you? Ruben Ortiz here.
Good morning. Oh, congratulations. I saw the graduation. That's great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a jury trial. Let's see, is Mr. Gonzalez here? It looks like he's connected. All right, and Ms., your client is also appearing remotely. We're set for a status conference today. What's going on?
So Judge, so on this, we're just waiting for the lab report on the possession case, Your Honor. I believe that if he pleads to the DWI, they'll dismiss this case, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Beautiful.
But we're just waiting to be sure that it's not sugar or something, or baking soda.
Labs are important. So we'll just keep our settings for now, knowing that that's basically the rec. Then, I mean, it doesn't sound like this is anywhere near a trial. We'll keep our
Right.
settings though, just to see where we are.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, for appearing. Okay, does Mr. Ortiz have any other cases?
Yes, Judge, bottom of page 8.
Okay.
Let me bring Ms. Corona in.
Okay, yeah, she didn't check in, ¿verdad?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
So yeah, Judge, I think I have, so that was Jonathan Gonzalez.
This is Lisette Corona.
Yes, a
Ms.
motion
Corona,
to,
doesn't she have like a bunch of cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me see.
She went through a really rough time sometime, I think about a year and a half ago, something like that.
Okay, yeah, Myrna, we need to include, she's got like, I think all the 2020s are the new cases. I don't know if the 2020, 2019.
She's doing very well though now, Judge, I can tell you that.
Yeah, they're all new cases, including the 2019. Yeah, so we need to put those all together. And I'm
Yes,
not sure, this is a modification hearing? Oh, of PR bond conditions. Okay, let me see, is she here?
She should be, because she's been calling us all morning.
She's still trying to connect, Judge.
Okay, for now, is it Miss Gonzalez?
Hi, Judge.
Hi, can we get her in a breakout room with Mr. Flores? Is that what you're here for? Are you our new?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so let's put her in the breakout room with Mr. Flores, please. Everybody's checking. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Ortiz. Where is your client? Oh, she's still connecting. I'll give her a second to see if she can connect. If not, Mr. Ortiz, feel free to tell me a little bit about the PR bond conditions.
Let me kick her out and bring her back in, Judge. See
Oh,
that-
hold on. Let me see if Mr. Ortiz was talking to her. Mr. Ortiz?
You know what, Judge? I see her logging on right now,
Mhm.
but I don't know what happened. She disappeared.
Yeah, she doesn't.
There it is.
She doesn't, I don't think she's clicking to connect to audio.
Okay,
but
let me
if
go
you're
work on it, Judge.
If you're okay to proceed without her, I'm okay to proceed without her. I am looking at your motion to modify the PR bond conditions.
Yeah, Judge, so we're looking at, well, I think she wants to be on.
She does?
Yeah, in
Okay.
case you did, especially if you deny it.
Well, then let's see if we kick her out and tell her to log back in.
Let me,
Let me, can I step out away for like a minute?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll come back to this one. Okay, who's next?
on page 4, Judge,
Mhm.
Flores.
Okay,
And he's also in the waiting room, Judge. Let me bring him in.
bring him in.
Okay, in cause number 2020-0D01557, State of Texas versus Jose Flores, and also in cause number 2021-0D01294, and cause number 2022-0D00336, and in 2022-0D00336, the State of Texas versus Manuel Jose Flores. Announcement of council, please.
Looking for the state of Texas.
Matthew Pospisil for the defendant, Your Honor.
And Mr. Flores is appearing remotely as well. We are scheduled, it looks like we have 2 probation status hearings, and then we have the 2022 case, the DWI, and that is set for a review hearing. Carla, is this the one where the DWI actually predated the probation cases?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And so just FYI, Mr. Pospisil, I had seen it, kind of crossed my radar. I saw a new DWI. I assumed that meant it was a violation, but it looks like it was beginning of 2021, I think.
Yeah, it took a while to get filed.
Let me see. Let me just look at because we are set also for a review hearing. I thought I looked at this one already too, because it has that $9,999 cash surety and a $1 PR bond. Just double check it. Ms. King, with respect to the review hearing, is this a true third?
Your Honor, I believe so. I'm just double making sure.
Oh, no, it was a $1 PR bond. Okay. Let me ask, Mr. Pospisil, does your client have the alcohol monitor?
I do believe he does, Your Honor.
Is that true, Mr. Flores? You're nodding yes? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, it is a true third.
It's a true third. Okay, again, let me just make sure we have our settings, our trial, everything on this one. Carla, anything I need to know on the probation cases other than we're going to track this DWI?
Your Honor, as per the report I received from the probation officer, Mr. Flores was just placed on probation back in November 2021, and so far there is no indication of any violations. He's reporting, he has completed anger management. The only thing, besides payments and community service, but other than that, it seems to be okay, doing okay right now.
Okay, so one thing I'm going to do is, in terms of the review hearing on the DWI, I'm going to leave the order the same because Mr. Pospisil monitors there's a lot of issues right now in trying to get monitors. So I'm not going to try and change him over onto the portable monitor. As long as he's got the interlock or whatever it is that he's acquired per JMAG order, I'm going to leave that bond order the same. What I am going to do though, Carla, is we're going to modify the other two cases to include the alcohol monitor. I don't know if he's done any tap screening, anything like that. But those will now be a condition of his two probation cases. Okay. For now, Mr. Yes, ma'am.
I apologize. He was screened back in early December 2021, and at the time there was no treatment recommended, but I will follow up with the officer so that we can see a further TAP assessment and then include the modification as well.
Beautiful. So Mr. Flores, what that means now is, because you were on probation and except for your new arrest, you seems to have been doing well. I'm now going to include the monitor that you have will be a condition on your probation cases. Okay. So we'll go from there. We have our jury trial set next year. So plenty of time for you all to work on the new case. Mr. Pospisil, did you have anything else?
Not this time. No.
Okay. Thank you very much. Ms. Carla, were you going to say something?
Yes, Your Honor. Just for clarification, it's okay on the modification for probation if it is the ignition interlock or the portable monitor?
That's correct. That's correct. And, you know, I usually don't let you all drive, Mr. Flores, but in this case, I'm going to allow you to drive only with a valid driver's license, valid insurance, and then, of course, the monitor. If those conditions are not there, you can't drive, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Carla. Thank you, Mr. Flores. Mr. Pospisil, do you have anything else today?
I had one other case, Your Honor. It was just an arraignment on a Mr. Valentin Hernandez.
Okay, let me look at that one. Is it on, thank you, Mr. Flores. Is it on, it doesn't have a review hearing?
It is not set for a review hearing. Also, we had just subbed in on the 11th, and so I didn't know if my waiver went through or not, so I just wanted to verify.
Is Mr. Oh wait, that's the same one. Hold on. Valentin, it's Valentin Hernandez, and that's an assault. Okay, no. Let me look and see.
Judge, Myrna Pages appeared on that one earlier. I'm checking on the substitution.
Yeah, it looks like I signed it yesterday. Yeah, if we don't already have the arraignment, the waiver, please submit it. I don't see it, but
Okay,
we'll
I'll resubmit it, Your Honor.
okay, sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Thank y'all.
Take care. All righty, who's next?
We
Do we
can
have
check
Ms.
if
Yeah,
Ms. Corona has been able to.
yeah, she looks like she's audio. Miss Corona, I need you to turn on your video, please. It looks like she's connected. Miss Corona, can you hear me? It looks like she's connected. I don't know if she.
Judge, would you rather, she's having issues with her phone. I think it broke, and so she's having to borrow, I don't know what. Could we reschedule this, maybe, Judge, when she does have a properly working device?
Okay, do you want to do it like later today or like next week?
Yeah, I mean, later today would be fine, Judge. And then I'll tell her to go get a phone somewhere because I think she broke her phone, so she's having to borrow one or something. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay, well, let us know. If so, we can do it probably around 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay, if not, just let us know and we'll put it a week out or something, Ruben.
Okay, Judge, I appreciate that. And I apologize.
No worries, no worries. Do you have anything else?
I think that was it, Judge. I think I had Lizette and Jonathan Gonzalez, and that was it, Your Honor.
Andale pues. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. May I be excused?
You may.
Bye-bye.
Who's next?
Top of page 9, Judge.
Go ahead.
In cause number 2022-0D00012, State of Texas versus Crystalene, Guillen. Announcement on council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
Todd Dunham for Ms. Guillen. Ready, Your Honor.
Okay, let me get there. All right, status conference. Yes, status conference. We have a July trial date and a backup in August. Did you need to put anything on the record, Mr. Dunham? Is this the one we keep having the family calling the court, Myrna? Is this it? Or is this a different one?
Yes, ma'am. The
I
mom.
wasn't aware of that, Your Honor.
So I think we've had almost daily phone calls from the family here, so I'm not
Well,
sure exactly what's going on. So you're aware too. I don't know if one
Well,
of
I'm receiving daily phone calls from
your
Ms.
clients.
Guillen's aunt.
Oh,
No. And I will say that, I mean, it's in a positive way because our last hearing last week was a bond hearing, and I know that you requested that we come back on this. There's some questions about the mental health treatment. I did reach out to the jail, left some messages. I did send an email. I'm waiting for a reply. I was able to find who was in charge. I'm just waiting for a reply on that. I did speak with the aunt, and she is very supportive of not just my client, but just the family in general. I think there's a lot of possibly why the court's receiving these phone calls.
yeah, I'm not
complaining
sure. Myrna,
Witness maybe calling.
is it the aunt and is it someone else or is it just the aunt that is calling?
It's the defendant's mother that's been calling the court. Judge.
Okay,
And
so that's why
that-
there
Right.
you go.
And she's a complaining witness. She called me last night or yesterday evening. I sent Ms. King the affidavit of non-pros. Both, I have both available today because I know the court is, the concern last week on the bond hearing was the mother had expressed to the state that she was afraid. I'm not sure when she spoke about that. She contacted me and said she wants her daughter to be out. So she's available to speak to the court about that. I know this isn't set for a bond hearing, but it was kind of open that you wanted me to look into the mental health issues and then we need to address. She has a $285,000 bond. So I'm requesting that we could address that issue. I do have two people available to speak to the court if you would like to hear from them.
Today, who is it?
It would be the mother, the complaining witness, speak to as to her fears if my client is released, and the aunt as to her support of my client and she would be able to live with her upon her release.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
if I may, the state, we had a pretrial with the complaining witness, which is the mother on March 4th. And that's when it was conveyed to the state that the mother feared for her life, so.
And
I'm not,
Mhm.
I apologize, Your Honor. I'm not trying to imply that the state was not being truthful last week or anything like that. I think the mom may have, I don't know anything about the mom other than that she contacted me yesterday. But that's it. My conversation with her, I'm not surprised that she's contacting the court frequently. So I think there may be some issues with her as well, but nothing of a criminal nature.
Okay. Are they in the waiting room, Mr. Manuel?
The people who identify themselves are defendants, Judge. What is the names of the?
One should be a Maria Guillen and then a Maria Torres. And they did say that they would be available. I just spoke to them maybe 30 minutes before the start of this hearing.
So I'm thinking a couple of things, Mr. Dunham. First of all, if you're asking me to, well, and I think the reason I said to follow up is because if I'm going to reconsider anything on the bond, I need to know the treatment plan that she is going to be on, which is why I recommended contacting jail EHN. I believe it's Lourdes Garcia, who will generally have do some type of evaluation. I understand, and it's clear to me that at least one family member, I believe aunt, said she could live with her, things like that. Sure, that's part of it, but I don't know how we're going to get a handle on the mental health issue so that we don't have any of new offenses. There's a pattern of conduct like this with Miss Guillen, and it isn't lost on me. This is a mental health situation. And unfortunately, when she gets off track, she acts violently, or there are allegations that she's violent. And I believe mom was the complainant in the previous ones. And so what I need to know is a, hard and fast plan. What are we going to do? What are we going to be able to ensure that if I were to release her, that we don't lose track of her in the mental health sense? It's good. Part of me why I was asking if they were here is because without getting into too much detail, and I don't even know if, as I understand, they're, persistent. So I don't know if an explanation for the court would help, like reduce the number of phone calls the court's getting and maybe that you're getting, but maybe not. Maybe that's not even worth doing.
Yes, ma'am.
But when you have something to present to the court in terms of a mental health plan, that's when we need to continue the bond hearing, because that is what I think is the core concern. And then we can reconsider other issues. But I have to put it within the context of saying, these are the meds she needs. She's going to be here. She's going to be talking to so-and-so, that kind of thing. If they can set her up with services, if this has been a lifelong problem, she hopefully will have been connected to services previously. How do we reestablish that? I don't want her getting off track. So
I understand, Your Honor. And unfortunately, I'm still waiting to get some response from the sergeant in charge of the mental health unit. So hopefully it'll be soon. And I'll
try Miss Garcia, Lourdes Garcia. Usually when you contact her through jail EHN, she immediately, well, if she hasn't already done some type of evaluation, they will do an evaluation and get something started. Look at
Yes, ma'am. I'll do that today.
Okay. So
All right.
with that said, then I guess we can anticipate more phone calls. But as soon as you have your request for a reconsideration on the bond, file it, send it to us, and we'll schedule the bond hearing. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. King.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Who's next?
Thank you.
Well, hold on. Ms. Gonzalez is back. And I don't know where Mr. Flores, if he came back. Did he leave?
I don't see him, Judge.
Yeah, I don't see him either. Okay. Ms. Gonzalez, did he qualify?
Yes, Judge, he did.
Okay. So let's go ahead, Myrna, on Mr. Flores. If you will send me, oh gosh, I don't even know where he is. If you will send me, oh, he is there. He's in the breakout room. How do we get him back?
Just a moment.
Yeah, it'll close out in 45 seconds. Okay. Myrna, if you will email me the next 5 names or chat me the next 5 attorneys on the list, please.
Judge, may I be
Monday.
excused?
Yes, thank you very much. It's so
Thank
good
you.
to see you.
Good
Take
to
care.
see you. Thank you. You guys have a good day.
You too. All right. When Mr. Flores gets back, we'll take care of him. All right. Who's next?
Staying on page 9, Judge. Lopez.
Okay, go ahead.
In cause number 2016-0D02336, State of Texas versus Raymond R. Lopez. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
Mr. Raga, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Apologize.
Good morning. Raymond Lopez, client is in custody. We're here technically scheduled for a revocation hearing, but I thought had we already figured out our number? I thought I had.
Judge, yeah, we had a recommendation that the court was not willing to accept.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and talked to my client, and although at first he felt that he had no option, on a second thought he want to go and proceed with the revocation hearing. Yeah.
Okay, so when are you available for that? When is probation available? Obviously, we'll do it in person. I'm thinking on a Thursday. So we're the 12th.
Your Honor, excuse me.
Monday.
Would this be like for a contested matter?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at June 2nd. Let me look at the calendar. June 2nd.
One second. Is that Thursday again?
Yes, uh-huh. Doesn't look too bad. I think we could do it in the morning even. We wouldn't have to cut into our afternoon. We could do 11 o'clock.
I'm scheduled for depositions that day in the morning.
Then in the morning, or is it the whole day?
It can run the whole day. I'm hoping it's only the morning.
Okay.
I can probably do on the afternoon if I have to read. I mean, I would think that I'm not gonna go extend all the afternoon, but.
Well, let's look at another day. It doesn't have to be. I just know for the remainder of May, it's going to be very tricky to get you scheduled. So let me look. Oh no, that's a holiday. Okay. How about, let's see, are we in trial? I don't think so. How about June 6th, a Monday?
That works with this.
I'm out of town, Judge. I come back on the 7th.
Your Honor, may I add something?
Sure.
Just to remind the court, because we are looking into dates in June. The case expired back on June 1st, 2021. Therefore, if the court or any parties were to consider extending Mr. Lopez, it would have to be done before the June 1st, 2021 date. So
I don't think, well, I can't speak for Mr. Uraga, but a court is not going to extend Mr. Lopez.
No, Your Honor. I mean, the recommendation that we had was prison time, and
Wasn't it 5 years? I mean, I was at 5, and I think you all were at 4, right?
That's the. I mean, he pled to 5, so the max we can revoke him to it's 5. So the state had recommended 3.5. The court didn't want to take that, so we counter offer 4, and the court didn't want to take that either.
Yeah, nobody. I don't think we're at extension, Carlos. So we'll just, if we can set it. I have June 13th also.
I'm open on June 13th, Judge. I just have a docket call on the 168 at 9. So anytime after that.
Okay, June 13th at 11 a.m. in person, contested revo.
Okay, are we gonna get a hearing notice, or we just put it on the calendar right now?
Yes, sir. You'll get a notice for the hearing. So we'll need to have Mr. Lopez brought over, Mr. Marufo.
Okay, Judge.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Daga.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Take care.
Have a good day.
You too. Okay, Mr. Flores, let me see, Myrna. Okay, let's go ahead and appoint Matt DeCotes. Mateo, please.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Flores, they did indicate that you qualified, and so the court is going to appoint Matthew DeCotes to represent you. I don't think I can get him on the Zoom right now, but he will be in touch with you as soon as he gets the order appointing, okay? Alrighty, if you have any questions, then you'll need to contact him, but he'll be in touch with you, okay? You're muted.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you said Matthew Decotes, correct?
Decotes, it's Dekoatz.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So
Bye-bye.
we're all set right here?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too, bye-bye.
All right.
Judge,
Who's
do we-
next?
Judge, we have the interpreter here for a case with Miss Araceli Solis.
Okay.
Let me bring the defendant in.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Miss Solis. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm well, thanks. Is this Mr. Estrada?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. It looks like he's connecting. Oh, that's gonna be. He's not gonna, let me see. For Miss Solis, I feel like you have the clients that we always have issues trying to connect them to audio and.
Well, we brought him in yesterday, Judge, and kind of showed him how to use everything. Yeah, so.
You know, I think if I was a defense attorney right now, like if I had a website or something, I'd have a short video on there just to be like instructional.
Yeah, but we did bring him in yesterday and kind of go through everything. So I think he's in his break room right now.
Right, but he keeps pointing it. Yeah, I know he needs to connect. I don't know how he's not going to hear us. He needs to connect his audio. He's not connected.
He needs to swipe the phone, like go to the side, go to the little dots.
Miss
Interpreter.
Solis, do you have a way of contacting him?
Let me
Like
call
calling him, see if we can. Okay, while we wait on that, I have to take care of Mr. Serrano and Mr. Munoz because they have been and Judge Munoz because they have been patiently waiting and looking at the Zoom. So let's go with Judge Munoz first, and then we're going with Mr. Serrano.
Top of page 10, Judge. In cause number 2020-0D01714 and 2020-0D01328 and 2020-0D02293, State of Texas versus Randy Rollins. Announcement of counsel, please.
We're working for the state of Texas.
There. Max Munoz for Mr. Rollins. We're ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Okay, client in custody. Let's see. Are we missing some hearings? We sure are.
Yes, Your Honor. Let me go. Whenever it happened at the beginning of the pandemic, we were going to plea him. It was going to be a probation case. He was out on bond. He went back to Carlsbad, New Mexico, and he was arrested. He did some prison time in the state of New Mexico. Therefore, he was unable to until they brought him back. And at that time, he's been incarcerated for close to 2 years now on these cases.
Okay. So are we at an agreement? What are we doing? Because I don't have any future settings on anything, and he's in custody. I show him here as a docket. He's
Yes, Your Honor.
Days.
Of course, the old recommendations, I think, are not valid in this case anymore.
Okay.
Based on the amount of time he has done. And one is a family violence, one is a controlled substance, and while and below, we do have a lab report of that one of the few. And
so Ms. King, what's the rec? Do we have a new rec or what's going on?
No, Your Honor, we do not. I do see the old rec. I have not put a new rec yet.
Okay, so we don't have a new rec yet. I'm guessing you're asking for time, Judge. Is that what it is?
if we can do a 2 years time serve, I mean, I think that would be justified under the circumstances. The amount of even though it's a penalty group 1, all of them are state jails, I believe.
Okay. This is what I'm going to do since we're really in a different position now. I'm going to reset the status conference for 2 weeks, Judge, so that the state can have a minute to go through their cases. I'm going to set it for May 31st at 3 p.m. because he's in custody.
May
That's
31st.
While the state looks at it, if they have a rec, communicate it to Judge Munoz. If you think we're there, just get the plea paperwork starting. That way on the 31st, Judge, if we really are looking at a plea on that date, we can just do the plea.
I agree, Your Honor.
If there's some other issue, we have your client present so that if he's gotta decide something, we're good to go.
Your Honor, and I apologize. We did send the arraignments, but I believe looking at here, we sent it to the wrong court, so I'll resend them again.
Beautiful. If
Thank
you
you.
follow up with that, we have a little bit of a window. If we've got it resolved, then we'll be good to go.
Thank you.
Take
May I
care.
be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Serrano,
Yes, Judge. Good morning.
take care of yours before we get into the other hearing. Where are we?
Bottom of page 12, Judge.
Okay. Go ahead.
Judge, on the case of Mr. Alex Olivas, we filed a motion to withdraw, and we requested a hearing because we had not received the signed motion and agreement by Mr. Olivas. We have it now.
Okay, is he here?
Yes,
Is Mr.
Judge.
Olivas here? Let's bring him in.
I think he checked in, Judge.
Okay, beautiful.
I'm not
Yeah,
too
'cause
sure if
we
he's
have a
back.
jury trial coming up pretty quickly.
There he is.
Okay, Mr. Marufo, if you'll call the case, please.
In cause number 2020-0D03607, State of Texas versus Alex Olivas. Announcement of counsel, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Victor Serrano, we have defendant your honor ready.
And he is also connecting. All right, looks like he's connected. Mr. Olivas, can you hear us? Just speak English?
Yes, he does, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Olivas, do you hear us?
He's still muted.
Mr. Olivas, can you unmute, please? There you go. Mr. Olivas, are you there? Alex Olivas? He doesn't hear.
He
Looks
can't
like-
hear us, Judge.
Well, it's on you. It's not on me. I don't know what setting is not working there because he looks to be connected and he's not muted.
And unmuted.
Okay, so you have the order, Mr. Serrano, where he has agreed, where he has signed off on the motion to withdraw?
That is correct, Your Honor. I will send it to the court. I have it. I received it, I think, on Monday.
Okay, what I would like to know is if there is a financial concern, if we need to have him interviewed or if his intention is to hire another attorney.
Your Honor, my information. Here we go. Mr. Olivas?
We
Okay.
can hear you, Mr. Olivas. Okay, well, I'm gonna mute you because we can hear you.
My understanding, Your Honor, based on the emails I received from Mr. Olivas, is that he will probably retain another attorney. So I'm not too sure. But he was telling me that he had some financial problems. So probably the safest bet is to have him qualify.
Yeah, but he's not, I would do that today if he would be able to connect.
Yes, ma'am.
Myrna, do we have, can they do that over the phone? For example, Ms. Gonzalez, as she came in today, for example, could I have Mr. Serrano give Mr. Olivas the information to call and they can do it over the phone? Do you know?
We can give them the phone number, Judge, yes, and they're welcome to call there.
Okay.
You ready, Mr. Serrano?
Yes, I am, Myrna.
Okay, 915.
Okay,
546.
546
2093.
2093. I will give it to him, Judge, so he can, if he decides to go with court appointed,
Okay.
so he can call.
Ms. Hernandez, if you will call them as well and give them the heads up that Mr. Olivas may be calling them so they're not kind of out of the blue. I would much prefer to have had it done here. Mr. Olivas,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you can try and unmute, I'll try one more time. He doesn't acknowledge. Okay, so the order, Mr. Serrano, with his signature, if you will email that to Myrna as well, and I'll sign off on the order, the motion to withdraw will be granted.
Okay, thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
You may. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Going
you.
to remove him. All right, now let's go back to Ms. Solis's client, please. Mr. Estrada, can you hear us? Señor Estrada, ¿sí nos escucha?
Your Honor, by the interpreter, he's not connected to audio.
He's not connected to
No.
Ms.
Yeah,
Solis.
I apologize. We called him. I should have just had him here, but I didn't want to because we have a lot of problems with interference. I don't know how the court wants to proceed. I mean, I can have him here and reschedule it, or it's
Well,
on a
tell
motion.
me, yeah, let's go ahead and if I think we're gonna need him, then I'll let you know, but let me go ahead and let you just go ahead but go ahead, Mario. Mr. Marufo, call it, please.
Cause number 2022-0D01240, State of Texas versus Vicente Estrada, announcement of counsel, please.
From King for the state of Texas.
Araceli Solis on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor, ready to proceed.
Okay, and we've been having trouble with Mr. Estrada. We can see him, but I'm not going to say he's present because if he can't hear us, then what's the point? But let's go ahead and see if we can go on this. It's a motion to modify the emergency protective order. Ms. Solis.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the emergency protective order was filed on April the 4th, 2022. It's set to expire on June the 2nd, so in about 3 weeks, Judge. Basically, the complaining witness, which is my client's wife, did sign a non-prosecution statement. I attached it to the motion as an exhibit, Judge. My client's a truck driver, Your Honor. He has no other prior criminal history. Basically, at this time, he's been sleeping in the trailer. He's only here part of the week, Judge, usually maybe 2 to 3 days out of the week, because he does travel all over the US. So at this time, they were requesting if he could be allowed to reside back at the residence, which is 8655 Adriana Court. I listed it in the motion, Judge. And he does have a 10-year-old son that he would like to see, which I believe was included. So we're just asking if the court modify the protective order.
Okay. And that's just for the residents and the parties, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. And there's only about maybe 3.5 weeks left till it's set to expire. It's just right now he's sleeping in the trailer of his truck, and he is the provider of the whole household. And just so the court knows, I did email Ms. King earlier this morning because I still don't have some information on portal, but I just did that this morning.
And Your Honor, if I may, I did receive the non-prosecution. We've been trying to get a hold of the complaining witness, but it says we just been unsuccessful. We have also sent a victim impact statement, and we received back that it was unable to deliver the mail. So
what, okay, so we don't have any input from the affected parties other than?
Not from the state.
So what's the state's position on this?
Your Honor, I mean, he does not have any criminal history. And we have not been able to get a hold of her. I have requested a better locate. The state will defer to the court.
Are you opposed or no?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, and he'd only be there a couple of nights a week, but it's more so he can see his son. He only has one child. But like I said, he works for Mr. Valdez Trucking. He's been there 4 years. So he's pretty much over the road the majority of the time. And it's, like I said, Judge, it's set to expire June the 2nd.
The underlying allegation that prompted the protective order, What is it? Impeding, it's an impeding, okay. Were there photos in that case, Ms. King?
Your Honor, I have requested the photos, yes. That's one of the things that I did want to look at. As of right now, I do not have them.
I'm sorry, Ms. Solis, I just can't. It's 3 weeks he has, and I know it's a major inconvenience for him. I know these protective orders are very restrictive on the party. I hear what you're saying about the non-pros, but you know, he's not on any other kind of like PR bond restrictions, anything like that. And so it does bring me great concern, you know, if God forbid something were to happen, because, you know, they still have the same underlying issues and, you know,
Yes, sure.
that protective order. I know it's just a piece of paper, but it puts my mind at ease, at least for as long as that protective order is, and I get it. He has no criminal history, but 3 weeks isn't an extended period. If there's something else you want me to reconsider, Ms. Solis, bring it to my attention. I know we've had difficulty with your client getting on audio. So I am more than happy to hear this again, okay? Because we did not have your client fully available.
Yes,
So,
sure.
like I said, we'll accommodate you as best as we can.
Okay, not a problem.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who's next?
Top of page 11, Judge.
Okay.
In cause number 2020-0D0-6719, State of Texas versus Jacob Urrutia. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Good morning, Your Honor. Chris Estrada for Jacob Urrutia. Ready to proceed?
Okay, and we're here for our final judges. Let me see. Let me get to that case. When do we have trial? I bet it's pretty soon.
In August, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, not too bad. August 12th. Okay. Anything you need to put on the record, apprise the court of?
I don't think there is a rec, and I think this is one of these cases where we haven't gotten one, Ms. King. I don't know if that's changed.
So I believe there was a rec with the previous prosecutor. That's what I see from my notes. And that was back in December. I know that was a 40 years TDC. I'm actually still trying to get a hold of the victim in this case. Let's see. I think it was Miss Julia that was handling this case before you.
So there was a prior rec of 40 TDC. Is that what I heard?
Yes, Your Honor. That's the notes I see from the previous prosecutor.
Okay.
I have personally not put a rec because I'm trying to get a hold of this, the complaining witness in this case.
Okay. Well, we have a status in June, but then from there forward, we're all the way going to trial. So I guess once you take a look at it, if you have a rec, send that over to defense counsel. I will check in with you all in June. What are we going to need to have set for a hearing, Mr. Estrada? Because I'm thinking we're going to possibly have some in-person proceedings prior to that August trial setting.
Correct, Your Honor. Doesn't look, I mean, I guess, trying to see if we've gotten everything that we've needed to on file, although it looks like we've kind of been in limbo because we didn't know if there was going to be a rec. It looks like Brian Herrera was the last DA we spoke to.
Wow.
And he said he was going to look into it and give us one.
Just be ready on the June setting.
Yes, Your Honor.
If there's anything requiring a hearing, I gotta imagine something with either witnesses, complainant, whatever that might be.
Right.
We'll have to get it scheduled because we have a really messy court schedule July going into August. So I just want to make sure we cover our bases there. What was the other thing I was looking at? Oh, I guess that's it. That was the only thing. So I'll see you all in June, but let us know if there's anything that we need to schedule, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alrighty, thanks so much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. King.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next? Well, actually, let's take a quick break. Who else is here? Mr. Stevens, Mr. Hernandez. Well, go ahead. Go ahead. You can go ahead, Maru.
Bottom of page 3, Judge.
Okay.
In cause number 2021-0D02884, State of Texas versus Dominique, Tremaine, Owens. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brent Stevens for Mr. Owens.
Good morning. Final judges.
Your Honor, so we've been back and forth with emails with me and Mr. Brent. I did put a rec, however, we're still kind of investigating this case. He's getting some stuff, I'm getting some stuff. So.
Okay, let me see.
It is, go ahead, Mr. Stevens.
I'm sorry. There's just a whole lot going on behind the scenes that wasn't reflected in the police report. So I'm getting information this morning. Even I spoke to the Department of Motor Vehicles, and they referred me to an attorney who's handling a case against the one of the car dealerships listed in the report. Based on the sale of the car that was alleged stolen in this case. So it's just there's a lot behind the scenes, and I'm trying to piece it together, and we're slowly getting a story together about what really happened.
I do remember Mr. Owens' cases. Yeah, well, don't go too slow because we have a trial on June 10th.
I know, Judge. We're working on it.
Okay. All righty. Well, I'll leave it in your hands. Y'all know what you're doing. But what's the rec? Is there a rec?
Your Honor, it was gonna be 2 years probated for 2 straight probation. So because he does also have the other robbery probation cases. But yeah, I did contact the agents who are part of the auto theft unit. Who handled the case. So
okay, so y'all are working on it. Mr. Stevens, you have outstanding a motion to suppress. If we're gonna really have it, if y'all don't, we need to try and schedule it. Do you see that happening?
I can let you know within a week.
Please do that, because we'll need to get you scheduled fairly quickly, okay? All
Okay,
right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, guys. Is that the last one you have, Mr. Stevens, or you have something else?
No, Judge, he has one on page 7, Judge.
Okay.
Bottom of page 7.
Go ahead.
In cause number 2022-0D00674, State of Texas versus Miguel Ángel Rodarte. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Brent Stevens for Mr. Rodarte. Judge, in this case, I filed a motion to withdraw because we represent the co-defendant also. Mr. Rodarte signed off on a withdrawal order, and I have forwarded that to the court.
Correct. And so that was Mr. Victor Parra got appointed on that one. So
Okay.
we'll go to the next, oh, no, we can't go to the next setting. It's all the way in August. I mean, Myrna, let's add a status conference since we have a new attorney in 30 days. So let's do June 9th. June 9th status. Okay, thank you,
Judge.
Stevens. Take care.
Mr. Stevens
Thank you very
also has
much.
another one on page 9, Judge.
Do you have another one, Mr. Stevens?
I don't know.
Page 9.
Is that David Munoz?
Yes, Judge.
Do you have that one?
I do have that one, but that was at 10 o'clock, but I guess we're already at 11:15, so here we are. I do have that case, Judge.
In cause number 2021-0D01363, State of Texas versus David Munoz. Announcement of council, please.
Robert King for the state of Texas.
And Brent Stevens for Mr. Munoz.
Okay, so we had a probation status hearing a month ago and a bond hearing. Now we're back. Has there been any movement on this case? Somebody give me a refresher, please. I think that means you, Carla.
Right.
Thanks.
Your Honor, Mr. Munoz continues to be in custody. He was the gentleman that was fairly new on probation, February 15, 2022. He picked up 2 different arrests in March. And he got picked up on the bench warrant. The motion to adjudicate was filed. And we're pending to see what, if anything, will we be doing. I know probation is looking into Casa Vida, which is the 90-day inpatient rehab treatment. Notation from probation officer is treatment is not a lockdown facility, it's voluntary basis. However, patients are not allowed to leave.
Doesn't he have a really long history?
Yes, he does.
Yes, this is the gentleman that he did call in at that first setting, and he was asking to have to be able to work because I don't know where he was going, and I think that's might have been why we appointed an attorney. I think I remember him because I said, "Thank you, Mr. Munoz." He goes, "Thank you, Judge Alyssa Perez." Right, that was him. I remember, and he turned himself in, or he got picked up, but it was pretty quick. I think I was at time on him. I don't think I was at any treatment or anything.
We had a bond hearing also, and and initially my client was in agreement with Casa Vida, but it is taking a long time, and so he was asking if he could just do time. This underlying case was a shoplifting at like a 7-Eleven or Circle K, and he picked up a beer and I think it was a dog collar, but it was enhanced. So he agreed to deferred adjudication. I was hoping I could convince the DAs to do like a 1244A with credit for time served. He still also has a pending case. And I know his record looks bad, but David is literally, he is genuinely making progress in life. He's no longer using drugs. He does still have a little bit of an alcohol problem, but he is making progress. And he is working on that. He's a diesel mechanic, so he has a lot of things going for him. But he was homeless and he was living in a lady's business office. So he's been charged with burglary of or criminal trespass of a habitation. It's really more of a business that was abandoned than a house, I think. But he has that pending also.
I just don't think, Brent, I hear what you're saying, and I think I know what we're talking about here. I just don't know if I'm in agreement with a 1244A because he's just going to come out and maybe, I don't want to be negative, but he's just going to come out and probably steal something else and get picked up for public intox again. And I wish he, get it together, but no, I just think we can do 180 days and then send him on his way.
And I'll talk to him, Judge. If the DA is in agreement with that, I'll visit with David tomorrow, and then I'll get back to you ASAP.
Ms. King, were you gonna?
Yes, Your Honor. I was gonna agree with the court. The state is not inclined to a 1244A.
Yeah.
You guys need to meet David. He's actually a nice guy.
Well, he really did pretty well advocating for. No offense, you're the attorney, but he did a pretty good job of advocating and, didn't go his way. He wasn't, could have gone a lot worse, I'll tell you that. And he was fine. So no hard feelings, but.
I don't think the 180 is unreasonable, and I'll talk to him.
Yeah, let's just do that. So do we have a future setting? That's what I want. I don't think we do. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do, Mr. Stevens, is Mr. Munoz, we're gonna give him a 30-day reset at the 3 p.m. slot on Tuesday. And if we have an agreement, then that's when we'll do it.
That sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right, Ahora, is that the last one Mr. Stevens has?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Take care, Mr. Stevens. Thank you for your
Thanks.
help.
You all too. Goodbye.
Who's next?
We're back on page 7, Judge, second
Uh-huh.
one.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
In cause number 2022-0D00675, State of Texas versus Eric Rodarte. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Good morning, Your Honor. George Driscoll for Mr. Rodarte.
Okay, and this is our co-defendant to the other gentleman we just talked about. Okay, arraignment, did you
Yes.
get the paperwork turned in, Mr. Driscoll?
Your Honor, I went and spoke with him, and we did discuss the conflict as well, because our office, unfortunately, we believe has a direct conflict, having done investigation on both these cases, and it appears from our anticipated defense that we are going to be left with a potential conflict on this case as well.
Still with Mr. Rodarte? Yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you file a motion to withdraw?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe
There
it
it
was
is.
filed yesterday.
Yeah, filed yesterday. Okay. Okay. So, I'm sorry, did you say you discussed it with your, Mr. Rodarte? Yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he sign off on anything?
He didn't, but I did speak with them in person. I wasn't sure if we were bringing him to court today or not. I typically don't handle the 210th, so.
So we'll, let me see. We'll put the motion to withdraw for hearing on, how full are we on Tuesday, Myrna?
It's a full docket, Judge.
Your Honor, I could, just visit him again and have him sign off on the order if the court would prefer that, if that's faster.
Sure, that'd be great. We are going to set him for a status in 30 days. May, but we're gonna do it at the 2 o'clock setting. I mean, at the 2 o'clock, at the 3 o'clock setting. So we'll do June 14th at 3 p.m. Status. And I know you gave me a list of names. We'll also, no, we'll just put it as a status. So if you get the signature, forward it to Ms. Hernandez, and I will look. I think, Myrna, is that list that you gave me earlier? Is it still valid for Mr. Rodarte? I can't remember. Or if you could just send me the next for Mr. Rodarte.
Let me just verify the charge, Judge.
Sure. Yeah, just send me those. Okay, Mr. Driscoll, thank you very much. We'll wait that signed order and then we'll get them scheduled.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. We appreciate it.
Sure,
Maybe
take
excused.
care. You may.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice meeting you as well. I see Mr. Hernandez here. What's that Hernandez doing here?
Judge, I think he's on.
He's on page 12, Judge. Top of page 12.
Okay. Go ahead.
In cause number 2020.
Oh, yes.
0D04363 and 2020-0D06556, State of Texas versus Rafael Villanueva. Announcement of council, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Pedro Hernandez on behalf of Mr. Rafael Villanueva. We're ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Good morning. Oh, this is a final hearing plea deadline and your client is in custody. What are we doing?
Well, I hope we're finally settling the case.
I love your attitude, Mr. Hernandez.
Your Honor, we're so close. It's like I could touch this, but it's we're just waiting for Miss King. We've made a counteroffer.
And Judge, I did receive the counter offer via email. We were in trial. I received that, I believe, on Thursday or Friday. And that's when I've been trying to get a hold of the victim to meet with her. So.
Complaining witness. But Your Honor, my client did ask me to file a motion for continuance. He thinks this case will resolve, and I still need to listen to audio. There's like 86 audio recordings, which I think kind of bear out my client's case. This is one of them at least is a terroristic threat case. And there was I read the statute. It says there has to be a threat of violence. My client at the time was delusional, and apparently my client says that if I listen to those phone recordings, we'll see that he was actually talking about a flying kraken that he was seeing. He wasn't threatening violence. He thought he was all powerful and there was a flying kraken that could take care of this issue, which apparently is in his phone calls as well. So we believe there's a meritorious defense, but he's about to time out, Your Honor, so I won't do an insanity defense because he probably spent longer trying to prove that. But we would refer the state to it to show that he wasn't threatening violence. He was just completely delusional and hallucinating. But if the court would be okay, and if counsel would be okay with a continuance for, let's say, 2 weeks to a month, and see if in the meantime the state can go ahead and talk to the complaining witness, and I can get ITD to open up these audio tapes. I'm not revealing anything that the state probably doesn't already know, since they're the ones that turned over the recordings, or they put them on portal, but we can't access them. Your Honor, but we believe this case is going to resolve. My client times out in November anyway. So we'd ask for a continuance. That they're on file, the motions. We filed them yesterday. I do understand with that Ms. King was in trial. No question about that. So we understand why she hasn't had the opportunity yet to speak with the complaining witness. We just asked the court to give us about a month or maybe even a little more. Also, because the plan is to re-enter, my client do re-entry, even if the state agrees to the counter offer. We want to try to set up a re-entry for my client. This is a mental health unit case, and it's our understanding that long-term housing is about to open up in August. So the timing would actually work for us if we can resolve this in the next month or so. Because before you go to long-term housing, first you go to the rescue mission, then you go to group home, and then you go to long-term housing. So my client does absolutely wants nothing to do with a complaining witness. Will stay away from the complaining witness. Will never speak to the complaint. And he says he never actually spoke to a complaining witness, but now he knows to not have any contact whatsoever. He was, again, as I say, kind of delusional and hallucinating at the time. But we'd ask the court to reset for a month or so, and I think to give Ms. King the opportunity to speak to a complaining witness, because I think if it's an agreement, then we would set up a re-entry process by which my client, who is stable now on medication, would remain on medication and go into the re-entry program, and hopefully we'd never run into this situation again, Your Honor. It's not like my client has a long history of this or anything. It's just a fluke that started from a criminal mischief case of all things.
So a couple of things, just because I'm a little familiar with Mr. Villanueva. The motion for continuance was not actually set for today, but being that the setting is next week, what's the state's position on the motion for continuance?
Your Honor, the state will not oppose the continuance. I know that the state, I've been trying to get a hold of the complaining witness as well, so.
Well, there's two things. On the one hand, I'm not inclined to extend the trial setting because I think we've been waiting on that confirmation or input from the complainant for a while. And so on that end, I want to know that. Do we have an offer out there that is going to be agreeable by the state, and let's get this taken care of? I don't want to extend just because we're still trying to find out if we even have an offer or not, an agreed offer. So there's that, but I hear you on everything else, Mr. Hernandez. My other concern is, the continuance doesn't bother me so much in terms of just extending time, but what does kind of stick with me is that I want to be sure your client is in agreement with the continuance.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry for interrupting, Your Honor. My client actually asked me to ask for it because his previous counsel died and the court just appointed me on the 22nd of March. And he's thinking, that's not a lot of time to come up to speed. And I told him, I'm coming up as fast as I can, but I still got to get to those 86 phone calls regarding the flying kraken or whatever. I'm not even sure what a flying kraken is. Okay, but.
Oh, I think I have an idea. Anyways, this is what I would like. If you are urging your motion for continuance today on that order, I want to see his signature of agreement. Okay.
That'll be fine, Your Honor. I'll get that. I'm going to the jail tomorrow, so I'll go ahead and get the signature.
Once I see that, then I don't have a problem going ahead. Let me put this out there as well. It's not going to be 30 days. I'm probably looking at August because of the court schedule.
Yes, Your Honor. I would just like to try to resolve it with Ms. King before August, just because I'm looking at that reentry and trying to time it so we have a smooth transition. With mentally ill, as the court knows, the biggest thing is could you keep them stable long-term? So.
Sure. So let your client know that we're looking at a trial reset of August, probably August 26th. That's the date I'm looking at for a trial reset. As long as with that understanding, it won't go later than that. If anything, it might bump up a little bit. I have to look at the court's calendars for each of those weeks. But if he's fine with all of that, I need a signature on that order indicating that he is in agreement and understands. And then I'll get you some interim settings to that date, Mr. Hernandez, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All righty, sounds good.
Thank you. And thank you, Ms. King. And I look forward to speaking to you about this once we both talk with our clients. Okay.
Cool.
Am I
Thank you
excused,
so
Your Honor?
much. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we need